Hello and welcome to Livin La Liga Loca.
Your first and only source of news for the Primera Liga Bautista Hispana.
I'm Kurt.
And I'm Josh Arodas. We've got a phenomenal show planned out for you guys today. Week 1 is finally over, and we're officially covering the competitive scene that is our fantasy hockey league. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
You and me both, Joshua.
So on today's episode, we're going to be going over Week 1's games, stuff that stood out to us, who were the winners, who were the losers. And we'll also be going through what we expect for next week. You know, who's going to be walking out with one of those coveted victories.
Okay. But first, you asked for it. We heard you, the viewer, and we responded. We have a very special, exclusive interview with Moy. Let's turn it over to Kurt in our home studio for more. Welcome to La Liga Lowdown. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have perhaps the most requested guest in the history of this show, Mr. Moy. Moy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now, Moy, I'm just going to come out and we're going to address the elephant in the room, okay? You, this week, won your match by one of the highest margins of the week. How does that feel?
Very proud, very proud. I'd say it's close to about 35.6 points over.
That's an impressive margin. Wow.
Very good. Considering we started very close towards the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And your team pulled through for you.
They did.
Wow.
They did.
Wow.
Ups and downs, but they did.
Well, you know, there was, as you know, there was a large outcry for you to join the show this week. And Moy, I think what the viewers, what they really want to know is week 2 coming up. What do you see? Who do you think wins their matches this week, Moy?
Ah, man. Honestly, I see chaos.
Yeah.
Big ruckus.
And what do you see in that chaos? So, for example, you know, we have Commission Possible versus Benton's Best Team. Who do you see coming out of that?
Starting up marginal point-wise, they seem very steady. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially with those games that come out very steady, very close. You start up close, at the end, big margin towards the end. Big margin towards the end.
And who comes away with the win?
Going for the commissioner. Going for the commissioner.
Okay.
Going for the underdog.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Now, the other game we have here is between the Aurelian Empire and King's Nation. Now, that one has a bit of a wider margin projected. Do you think that projection holds up? Do you think it collapses? What do you see there, Moy?
Considering how both teams did this week, I'd say that margin will hold up.
Yeah. So you're predicting a big win for the Aurelian Empire.
That is correct. That is correct.
Wow. You heard it here. Now, moving on, we have actually your match, right? We have the Cracker Cruncher versus Buttercup. How are you feeling about your match? Who's coming out on top there?
We're starting off with quite a margin here. Not too big, not too small, but it's there. It's there. I'm afraid of the defense he has.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a valid thought. Valid fear.
He has a wall back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wall.
Uh-huh.
It's quite impressive. Very impressive.
Are you going to be able to break through that wall this week?
I'm hoping to at least close in that margin. You know, get close, get right under.
And if you had to make a prediction, who comes away with the W?
I'll be honest with you. I think he'll take it.
You think so?
I think so. I don't know. Something about my team isn't pulling up this week.
You are the first person on this show. This is history, folks. You are the first person to come on this show and predict their own team to lose. It's a brave thing. Very brave.
We're early in the season. Very early in the season. Anything can happen.
Now, moving along here, we have Embrace the Suck versus Mix's Matchless Team. Yeah. Now, what do you see there?
I was also starting with actually pretty good margin. Pretty big difference. Both teams, I saw that they started off strong. Towards the end, you know, they got their offsides here and there. They had their drops. I want to give this one to Embrace the Suck. I don't know. Something about his team, it's really, really hitting hard.
Yeah.
Really
Okay.
hitting hard.
Okay. That's a bold prediction. I like it. I like it. That's what this show's all about. Now, moving along, we have David the Vulture Kachik. Some call him Lesser David. I do.
We're the same.
Yeah.
We're the same.
Versus Willie and the Boys. Now, both of these teams look like they're heading into week 2 0-1. Who do you think comes out of here with the win?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Considering both teams had great players that didn't do so great. Starting up in the margin, looks like David the Vulture Cheeks probably had in the lead. I think Lesser David might take this one.
Wow, a win for Lesser David. You
I
are
think
also
Lesser David will take it. I'm going for the underdog here, considering he does have the higher margin here.
once again, you are the first person to come on this show and predict anything good for Lesser David.
I'm giving him some hope. Some hope.
Hold on to that, LD. Now,
Don't
Moy,
fail me, David. Don't fail me.
Now, Moy, the final match that we have this upcoming week is the Heart Knock Life, who I think it's fair to say shocked everyone with their win in week 1.
Me, I didn't see that turnaround. It was just complete turnaround.
And he's going against the Alphas. Now, Moy, once again, Heart Knock Life is projected to lose and lose big.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop them before. Are we going to see that trend continue this week? Or do the Alphas come away with a win here?
Oh, man. The Alphas. I'm going to go for the underdog here. I think the Hard Knock Life will take this one.
Again, so a prediction right here. You heard it, folks. Heart Knock Life starting their season 2-0. Now, Moy, we've done our predictions. We've had our fun. I think we need to get down to business. And what, maybe people are hoping I'll ask here. Okay, I would be remiss in my journalistic duties if I did not bring up, when you look around the league, who do you feel you match up best against? Who do you feel, if you're going in to a match with them, who are you just so confident, yes, you are going to beat that team?
Starting off the top of my head, we'll Embrace the Suck. I don't know, it's that good feeling. I think I can take him on.
Okay.
Take him on.
Wow. Yeah. Now, Moy, why did you drop Zach Hyman?
You see here, I'm a guy who likes a bit of excitement, a bit of chaos.
Okay.
A bit of fun.
It makes some sense to me. Moy, thank you so much for joining the program. I'm going to send it back over to the studio. Thanks, Kurt. All right, well, Joshua, like you said at the top of the show, week 1 is finally over,
It's finally done. Felt like forever.
For some of us, in the league, we felt just elation at how our teams performed. We tasted that sweet, sweet savor of victory. And some of us are crushed and dead inside forever.
Yeah.
So, Joshua, let's kind of go through here. First, I want to talk to you about the Aurelian Empire versus the Alphas.
Oh, man. That was a really interesting one to watch.
A blowout.
I know. And we talked about the Lomeli brothers, being very strong after that draft. And we finally get to see that, I would say, full strength, of one of those brothers already. The Aurelian Empire. How many points did they walk away with?
Oh, my God. It was close to 140. It was
140.
Close to 140.
Off in just the first week, 140 points. That's insane.
Wow.
Insane.
Wow. And next, what did you see, Joshua? I'm fascinated to hear this one. Between Benton's best team, who triumphed today over Embrace the Suck.
Embrace the Suck. That one I was really excited to watch, but it is a bummer how things turned out.
Uh-huh.
It was already really tough because, that we had that hurricane going on in Florida. I don't want to make this like, ruin games in the hockey, because honestly, that's not what matters. It's really rough for the families out there in Florida. Going through the hurricane, ruining a lot of the stuff that they own. Their own lives. So I don't want to like come off as insensitive, yeah, to those families. It of course it absolutely changed and really changed the trajectory of how this matchup was going to go. But it was what can you do?
It was projected to be a dogfight, and maybe it was a dogfight between a Saint Bernard and a Chihuahua.
For real.
Now, next we had the David Bowl.
Oh, the David
and,
Bowl.
I don't think anyone is shocked to see that the better David triumphed.
You know what? He is called Better David for a reason. We have a better and a lesser David, and I think those roles were firmly established this week. Yeah.
What more do we need to say? Now, we also had the Cracker Cruncher, who caused quite a commotion this week.
Yeah. I think everybody saw what happened, everybody saw, and we were all secretly hoping no one would point out the fact that Hyman was dropped, and that, we would secretly just take a free high pick,
But what's interesting to me, we saw this with Adam Fox last season. Mm-hmm. What's interesting to me is both times Moy has dropped a star player, he has won. There might be something to that, Moy. Keep it coming. Keep them coming. I think I'm ninth in the waiver wire. Maybe 9 more players, Moy.
9 more. We'll definitely see a few more. Maybe not entirely from Moy, but players all around. Like I mentioned in the last few episodes, we're giving people too much credit. We're expecting too many people to have too many perfect games. They're going to be blunders like this all season. This was just week 1.
Yeah,
imagine how the rest of the season is going to go.
I'm an optimist. What can I say?
Yeah.
Now we had, my goodness, to me, probably my favorite match of the week, Joshua, which was the Hard Knock Life versus Willie and the boys. Joshua, I don't think anyone in the league predicted a win for. In fact, I can tell you that I have been a part of a conversation that predicted you to go 0-21 this season.
Really?
And so you have already shattered expectations.
Yeah, well, first I gotta correct you there. There was one person who predicted a victory. This guy predicted a victory. I said I probably won't win, but when that matchup came out, I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to win. I told you I would make it my mission to not be the lowest scorer, and not only was I not the lowest scorer, but I was a winner. I was a winner. Right now, I'm in playoff position. Playoffs could happen right now. I will be right there.
Never say never.
Would you be in playoffs?
Well, Joshua, I was going to say, you also made another bold prediction, which was for your co-host to win his match this week, and that did not happen.
Well, you can't win them all, It did not happen, I can't be right about all of them. Much like Joshua Chris, I don't have full control about what's going on. I think people give me too much credit on what can or cannot happen. I'm just another guy, just another guy who's winning currently,
Well, I am dead inside.
Yeah. You had so many great picks too. We predicted you to be extremely strong. You were a manager who had multiple, like, second, third, and fourths, right? Yeah, that's crazy. You know what we call, though? There is a specific name that we do have for managers who have those multiple second, third, and fourth picks with no victories.
Okay.
Bozo.
Okay.
All right, so that's the end.
Well, this bozo, I think this transitions us nicely, Joshua. This bozo has, I'm looking forward. I'm saying that's okay. Week 1, I knew it was going to be rough. I didn't know it was going to be that rough, but I said, you know what? That's fine. Next week is my week, and who do I see when I check week 2 is my opponent, but the reigning champion, Benton's best team.
Oh.
Now, Joshua, I have to tell you, we are currently projected about 2 points off of each other, but I have to tell you, Benton has a trade that looks like it's going to be going through tonight.
Oh, really?
And that player is projected to gain 1.5 points more than the player he's trading away. So we are looking at a potential projected margin of 0.5 in that matchup. And I got to tell you, after week 1, I have no hope. Hope is dead.
Really?
They say hope springs eternal. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It springs
all it takes
very moderately.
Is one loss to King's Nation, and hope is as dead as a doornail.
I think that's the thing that we need to mention too,
Hope
Kings
is dead.
Nation. Kings Nation. What was the general consensus about Kings Nation after the draft?
Really lousy.
Really lousy. He went a drafting strategy that was unknown to pretty much all of us. And I have to say, maybe I clown on him a little bit too.
I know I did.
Yeah, I know plenty of people did. I at the end, I finish off that statement with maybe he knows something we don't, and I think he really does know something that we do not.
George, I would like to issue you a formal apology. When I first covered your team, there was a bit where I stood up and stared down at the floor and said, "That's where you found Igor Shesterkin." I was wrong, George. I'm sorry.
Great job, George. I'm so proud of you. That was awesome. Amazing week. Phenomenal week. It's been my favorite week so far. We only have 1 week, to be fair, but my favorite nonetheless.
So, Joshua, who do you think is going to win between my match?
Between your match,
Ben or Kurt?
Everything points to Ben, but everything pointed to my loss. Everything pointed to George's loss.
I like that.
I'm
I like
holding
that
out hope
prediction
for you. I think you can pull through because you did have a great draft. You have a lot of great players. I think you can pull through. I think you can pull through.
Now, next we have the Aurelian Empire versus King's Nation. Okay, now Aurelian Empire is projected to win by almost 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Leo, I am warning you. I was also projected to triumph over King's Nation by 20 points, and I lost by more than that margin. Be careful, Leo.
Yeah. And I was projected to lose by like 40 points, and my opponent had like 12, 13 games over me, and I won by 4.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Because you have heart.
I have heart. Rhine heart. I'm so happy. This is a great week. It's just a great week overall. Aurelian Empire and King's Nation, though, it's another really interesting one to look at. You already have one of the highest scoring teams, followed by, I would call him the underdog of the league currently, someone that we did not see to be rising as fast as he is. I would love to see what's going to go on against the Aurelian Empire. I'm thinking George might come out with a victory again.
I won't bet against him. Not after last week. I will not bet against that man.
So La Liga Loca's official stance on the matter then is for George.
Is King's Nation.
King's Nation all the way.
Now, we move along here. We have Embrace the Suck and Mix's Matchless Team. Now, what I'm noticing here, Joshua, it's another closely projected matchup for Armando's team. But we saw in week 1, that's not exactly how it happened.
It really wasn't,
And to me, when I look at this match, Joshua, I think it all comes down, this match is all about Mix. It's not about Armando. This match is about Mix because Mix has Austin Matthews, who coming into week 2 has 0 goals on the season.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. I know it's pretty common for even high-ranking players at the beginning of the season. They start off pretty slow, but to start off and continue that first week, as long as it was, with 0 points all the way, I would be lying if I would say I wasn't a little bit concerned.
I would be too.
I think it's still pretty close. I would want to say it's still up in the air for both of them. But it's hard to say.
The one thing we need to really think about too, maybe it is about Armando, because you cannot overlook the Armando factor, which is if it is possible for Armando to have bad luck, he will have bad luck.
Yeah, he did have a rough time last season. Some of it was brought upon himself, because of decisions he made. But you can't deny that some of it was just out of his control. Sometimes, things just don't roll your way.
And I think for that reason, I don't think Austin Matthews stays off the score sheet another week. And what can you say about that bad luck? I think I have to pick Mix in this matchup.
Yeah, I think Mix is gonna come with a victory, but it's gonna be really close.
Another official prediction from Livin the Liga Loca. Yeah. Moving on, Joshua, what do you see between David the Vulture, lesser David the Vulture Kacheeks, and Willie and the Boys?
Willie and the Boys. Oof. I mean, David, even though he did lose that week 1, I think he's still a pretty strong team.
I think he is.
I would say going up against David, if I were going up against David, I would have a really rough time.
Surprisingly strong is what I would call his team. Surprisingly strong.
Exactly. But at the same time, you can't write out Willie and the Boys, He did lose to me that very first week.
I think I'm already writing him off.
He's strong. Like, he is. I did not
I think what you have behind the bench of Willie and the boys is, pardon my French,
Okay.
a bozo.
I think that was English.
My point stands. Lesser David pulling away with the victory.
All right, all right. I can understand the stance, and like I said, David is a pretty tough guy to go against in my position. I'm not in the greatest position in the league, true, but I am 1-0.
You're in a playoff position.
I'm in playoff position, and I would still be worried about going against David on that second week. That being said, I did not beat Jason by that large of a margin. I think the only reason I won was because he had 2 outs. He had Wool, his goalie, and he had, oh man, who was the other guy? Erickson, yes. He had Erickson out as well. I think those were huge for me. It didn't take off that many games away from him, but it took away just enough points that I won by 4. So going from being projected to lose by 40 to winning by 4, it's a great feat on its own, but I did only win by 4 points. Jason is really strong, and I think if anyone can go up against David on the second week, it'll be Willie and the boys.
Moving on, we have Cracker Cruncher, and Cracker Cruncher, you could say, is just the wily fox of the group.
Yes.
And against the new guy who has put up the largest score in week 1, Buttercup.
Oh man, that's crazy. You're the newest guy on the block. You're coming into a group that you know nothing about, and you just casually put up the highest score in the league.
Like it's nothing.
And
you know what? I have to tell you, Joshua, I'm just going straight to the prediction. We could say a million things about Moy. We could say a million things about Better David. But at the end of the day, I think Better David is the clear favorite here.
Yeah, like we mentioned too, both seem to have done pretty well. I think one of them is noticeably stronger than the other, but
especially
the second
because that one is not just, oh, here's a star player. Oh, here's another star player.
That would contribute to it. But maybe Moy also knows things we don't know,
He is also in a much better position right now than I am.
That is true. That is true.
Now, Joshua, we've saved the best for last. The
Ooh.
Heart Knock Life against the Alphas. Now,
Against the Alphas.
Joshua, I believe I've learned my lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I will not bet against you. I will not bet against you. You have the Joshua curse on your side.
Mm-hmm.
You have Reinhardt, who, despite the fact that everybody clowned you for him, has really shown up for you when he needed to. And so, Joshua, you know what? Again, I'm just going right in there with my prediction. Heart Knock Life, this time next week, will be 2-0.
All right. I appreciate the sentiment, but to be honest, I don't know if I'll walk away with a victory. I'm not saying that I think Alphas is going to win, but I'm saying it's going to be a pretty hard matchup because as of now, the last that I checked, we have the same number of games. So that's good. It's not the best. You normally want to be having more games than your opponent, but having the same is okay. However, even though we have the same amount of games, he is projected quite a bit above me, Not as big as it was with Jason, with Willie and the boys, but just enough to get me pretty nervous, He's got 10 points projected above me. And I do know he has an out right now. I'm pretty sure he's going to take care of that, though. He's going to take care of that. I, of course, will make my own moves, trying to better my situation as much as possible. But I think it's going to be another really close one. The one for Willie and the boys, that very first victory that has me undefeated and 1-0 in a playoff position, was only really decided until today. Until today, I thought there's a big possibility that I'm going to lose. He had more games left than me. And one of my games that I had wasn't even a game. It was from a goalie who was benched.
Well, folks, it sure is back to be great to the full season. We'll see you guys this time next week. For Livin La Liga Loca, I'm Kurt.
And I'm Joshua.
Have a great night.